pessoal, tudo bem com vocês? E sejam bem-vindos a mais um episódio de Lendo Inglês com o livro The Star Shepherd. Ok, espero que vocês estejam gostando dessa leitura comigo. A gente já tá aqui no capítulo 17. Se você é novo no canal, vou deixar aqui nos cards o link para você ir na playlist de Lendo em inglês e voltar lá no capítulo 1 para você pegar a história toda, porque hoje a gente vai começar o capítulo 17. Se você quer acompanhar essa leitura com a gente, se você quer adquirir esse livro, vou deixar aqui no link da descrição o link para compra do livro. Tem uma edição sem ser capa dura, uma edição em brochura que tá num precinho bem tranquilo de comprar na Amazon. Fica ali a dica. Se você não puder comprar o livro, você pode acompanhar a leitura através das legendas que eu vou deixar aqui no vídeo. Lembrando que você precisa treinar sua leitura depois de assistir esse vídeo pela primeira vez. Volte ele, põe ele no mudo e fique tentando ler as legendas em voz alta, né? Porque é o foco desse vídeo te ajudar a treinar a sua leitura, melhorar o seu vocabulário, sua pronúncia também. Então é muito importante que você faça a segunda etapa, que é primeiro, né? A primeira etapa você vai assistir o vídeo acompanhando ou no seu livro ou nas legendas e depois você vai ler em voz alta este capítulo, ok? Então não esqueça de fazer a sua parte e fazer a sua leitura em voz alta. Então vamos lá. Chapter 17. The captain introduced Carol to the first mate, Sully, the same man who had found him in the cargo hold, properly this time. The man shook Carol's hand and smiled, showing a few blackened teeth. Well done, boy. We'll reach Dran in a couple hours, just before dawn, Captain Salban said. Until then, you can tell me more about what's plaguing the stars. Yes, ma'am, Carol said. I prefer Salban. Whether Carol liked it or not, he was going to have to trust her with more of his secrets. It was a fair price. He didn't want to find out what would happen if the captain changed her mind about letting him remain aboard the Celestine. She brought Carol to the railing of the ship where they could see the stars bobbing over the horizon. The boat rocked and the sea churned beneath them. Cypher barked and chased the gulls around the deck while the captain looked on, amused, as she leaned against the railing. Now tell me, what was so urgent that your father had to leave? What made him think someone's taking the stars? She glanced at the sky, and Carol couldn't help thinking that she seemed nervous. One night, we noticed that a star's burlap case had been sliced open. Usually when they fall off the hooks, they leave a jagged tear. Carol's heart chilled at the memory. It was like someone had cut it down instead. Salban's brow frowned. No one alive can reach the stars, unless you catapulted them up there, but the ride down would be a death sentence. Exactly. My father reported it to the council immediately, but they thought nothing of it. And when he got home, he told me that other star shepherds had reported seeing dark shadows creatures called the Visla. She stood straight. What? They're shadow creatures and... Yes, I know what the Visla are. There have been sighting of them? They're returning? Alarm filled her face. I've seen them myself. She stepped closer. You're serious? What was it like? Carol gazed out at the waves, lapping the sides of ship and swallowed hard. It was cold, like it radiated pure evil. One of them got a star before me, and the Visla killed it. Salban leaned back on her elbow. And those fools at the council ignored that? She scowled. Idiots. So certain nothing will change by the time they realize they're wrong. It will be far too late. That's not all, Carol said. My father only took off after 2 clusters of stars fell in one night. He couldn't go after the first. It was far away in the Radmac Mountains, but the second was right in our woods. When we reached them, all that remained were smoking craters. Someone had stolen every single star. We couldn't rescue any of them. His eyes burned at the memory. Salban gasped. You told this to the council too? Of course, I had to justify why my father left. Carol decided to leave out the fact that his father had cried wolf to the council a few too many times, which was why they hadn't taken his father's or his own claims seriously. And they still did nothing? They did something, Carol said. They banned me and my father from saving the stars. A bitter taste formed in the back of his throat. Then they've grown stupider with age. A thought nagged at Carol. How do you know so much about the council and star shepherds? No one else I've met has had a clue what the Visla are. Salban's eyes glinted. It's time for me to tell you a story now. She told him tale after tale he had never heard before. He doubted even his father knew them. Carol examined Salban while Cypher snoozed in his lap. She appeared to be merely a ship's captain, but she was very knowledgeable about the stars. Her connection to them had to be far more personal than she was willing to let on. He wished his father could meet her. How do you know these stories? Carol asked. He'd been trying to hold his curiosity inside, but he was ready to burst. Were you a star shepherd once? Salban laughed. Not exactly, but you could say that it's in my blood. I come from a long line of them. These stories were passed down through my family. Carol frowned. Why are you so hard on the council then? Salban's face grew more serious. Not all star shepherds favor the council, and as you've seen yourself, the council doesn't favor all star shepherds either. You could say my family had something of a falling out with them long ago. She straightened up, with a new glint in her eyes. Now, have you heard the one about the descendants of the 7 elders? Salban asked. No, I don't know it. When the elders sent their hearts into the sky, their fame lasted only for a few hundred years. People became accustomed to safety and forgot all about the dangers of the dark creatures the stars held back. The world's belief in their power dwindled, and the legend of the 7 elders was relegated to bedtime stories and campfires. But the descendants of the 7 elders carried the flame of knowledge as best as they could in the face of the world's lack of faith. Until even some of the descendants' children began to doubt. The descendants knew they couldn't let the knowledge of the stars die out. They had to do something. They devised a way to prolong their lives by splicing a piece of their own hearts with a star. As long as the star remained hanging in the skies, that descendant would continue to live on. Carol's mouth dropped open. Those stars must have all fallen by now, haven't they? Salban shrugged. I'd expect so, but who knows? There are thousands of stars. Eventually, they formed the Star Shepherd Council to ensure the secrets of the stars were passed down from generation to generation, and that their protection would be of paramount importance. Carol scratched his head. Well, what happened to land? Oh! Cried a sailor on the other side of the ship. Carol stood up from the railing. The village of Dren could be seen by starlight, getting closer every second. Carol frowned. Something looked odd by the port. He ran to the other side of the bow and leaned out over the railing to see better. Sea spray spattered his chin. What is it? Salban sauntered over. Cypher whined at Carol's side. Carol squinted. Something was obscuring his vision of the port, and he couldn't quite figure out. It's smoking. The port is smoking, he said. Salban sat up immediately. Sully, fire up the engines right now. Her command was met with a few concerned looks, but no hesitation. The boat began to move through the water at a faster pace. Carol's heart had frozen. He hoped against hope that what he thought might be happening was not the case. The boat finally reached a spot where they had a full view of the port, straight up the hill to the market square. The cause of the smoke was suddenly all too clear. Something had set all of them ablaze. Gente do céu! A cidade que o Carol morava tá pegando fogo, tá sendo destruída. Bem, vamos ver o que vai acontecer, né? Agora que ele tá chegando ali no porto com o navio, né? E a Salwan, que parece ser uma capitã bacana, que parece ser uma mulher, ela conhece, né, a história dos Star Shepherds. Então vamos ver o que vai acontecer aí no próximo capítulo, gente. Agora ficou meio que tipo, agora nem a cidade o Cairo tem mais, né? Porque tá tudo pegando fogo. Enfim, pessoal, espero que vocês tenham gostado dessa leitura em inglês comigo. Se você gostou, clique em gostei, que isso me ajuda bastante. Se inscreve no canal, indica o canal para as pessoas que você acha que vão gostar, né, dos vídeos sobre leitura, dos podcasts, a leitura em inglês, né? Ao indicar o canal para outras pessoas, você tá me ajudando bastante, isso ajuda o canal a crescer. Fico muito grata, obrigado por ter chegado até aqui e a gente vai se ver nos próximos vídeos, pessoal. Tchau!